for. Come on, enjoy my class. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frank in Action YouTube channel. This is my official YouTube channel, and if you're not yet able to follow me in my social media accounts. We have here pages Frank in Actions, my personal account Jesse Franklin Cabigan, and also in my Instagram Frank in Actions. You can actually check those things in the description below. And if you're not yet subscribed in our YouTube channel, make sure to click the subscribe button and also the ring bell button so you will be notified in our next video. So in this segment, guys, we will be continuing another phase of the daily news lesson, and that would be reading out loud. So during this time, we'll be focusing on what is the purpose and how we're going to proceed with this lesson. So please watch this. Of course, thank you so much for staying in this video. So again, we will be sharing to you another video or part of the phase of doing daily news lesson. For our students, you can actually watch this one so you can have a wider perspective and idea why students or why teachers should do it during the lesson. So let's watch this.
NativeCamp. This is the tutorial video which will show you how to teach daily news textbook. You are now in the Readout section, the fifth step in handling daily news textbook. There are 2 points that you should remember for this section. First, checking the purpose of this section, and second, knowing how to proceed with this section. Let's begin with the first point. For the readout, the student will read the article alone with the objective checking and correcting the student's pronunciation of the words and phrases. Read the red-colored instructions. Please read out the article. To let the student read the article alone. Listen carefully and take note of any mispronounced words while the student is reading.
All right, so this is vital and this is very important, guys, that you were able to type all the words in the chat log. So while the student is actually reading, the student is actually watching, they can actually have a glance on the chat log in the chat box. So in there, it will give them an idea that you're actually listening while they are reading. And I think it's also beneficial and it's also very important for teachers also to do that so that after the student is reading the after the student um when the student finishes reading the article, you have some guides on what to review, especially to reading those words. So Teacher Frank, how I could identify that the student is mispronouncing the words? Of course, if this is mispronounced, if the student cannot read some words, most of the time the student cannot read the name of the people being mentioned in the article, so it's okay. And just make sure that during the first part of listening audio, you have to make sure to take note of how you're gonna read the word or the name of those people. Okay, so it's very important. Another tip is um while listening, you can actually go to the other tab of your website and try to check them. Do not, assume that you were able to pronounce it properly. You know, it's better that you have, you know, reference on how you're gonna pronounce the word. Well, for many years of teaching at Native Camp, even if I'm a little bit sure about pronouncing the word, I still try to have a reference. And most of the time, what I do if the student is really focusing in pronouncing the word, I give them the IPA also. I try to research them. I use Miriam and also dictionary.com so that I tried to paste also the websites in the chat box. Okay, so those are just my tips, so perhaps it will work when in your lesson. Okay, let's continue.
When there were mispronunciations after the reading, say, I will type some words in the chat box for us to practice. Please repeat after me twice. Then type the mispronounced words in the chat box. After making any corrections, make sure the student understands everything by asking,
All right. So how do I what I call this one? Do this. Well, most of the time, I just let them read the words I type. Just to give them an idea that I'm gonna give them a second chance to read it. After that, I let them repeat after me. And what I do is once, okay? I don't want to do the twice because it's becoming so monotonous already. But again, if you're doing demo lesson, follow the instruction, the guides. But what I do is I really try to avoid making the lesson monotonous in my normal lessons. That's one thing that I really avoid following systems that makes the lesson boring and creating boredom atmosphere in the lesson. So I always make some switch in the process. Okay. So going back, if the student has difficulties, like for example, I teach them such pronunciation or reading the word, and then the student's still not able, I just correct them once or twice. And then I inform them there's still a little bit, we need to practice that word again, but don't worry, we'll be practicing that one before our lesson ends. Okay. So it's giving them an idea. You're not lying to them. Do not say very good, even if they're not really doing good. So give them an idea that good, there's something improvement in reading the word, but I think we need to practice more, and then we will be doing that before the lesson ends, so that you will not discourage your student. You're not killing their motivation of learning the textbook. Okay, so it's important also to do that. Next.
do you have questions? If your student reads the passage smoothly, ask immediately if they have any question. Then type the answers to your student questions in the chat box for their reference. After answering the questions, your student might.
All right. So your student might have questions, okay, about the article. They couldn't understand why they use this word and what is the second meaning of the word, because there are some words that are being used differently, and the word is so simple but it has different meaning, and sometimes they get asked that question, and this happened very often. So you have to be very vigilant of that question. Do not assume. In my own opinion, I always give them the answer, and I there are also cases that I really don't know how to describe or to discuss the word. But what I do is, as give me a while, give me a second, let me just check what the word is. Okay, so um what we do here is we are partners, you know I give them the atmosphere. I give them the environment that the teacher and the student, in that section, or in that class, we are partners, and we are here to help each other. And I always tell them that yes, I'm a teacher, but I'm not the fountain of knowledge. I have also reference to make sure that I'm not giving you assumptions of the meaning or what I'm discussing here. So being honest to your student sometimes create doubts from your student if you're a reliable teacher, but it's actually the least that I can do, to be honest to them that I don't know the answer, or sometimes I don't know what it means. So I will tell them that I will be researching that word, and after that I'll be back to you. Or what if, teacher Frank, you really was not able to find the answer? Well, if I notice that it consumes the time while researching the word, I will give them an honest feedback that I think I still not be able to see what other words we can use. For example, most of the time, teacher Frank, this word, what other word I can use in this part? So sometimes, most of the time, I can answer it because we have internet, but there are times that I really don't feel that what is being suggested to me using the reference is really reliable. So what I do is I put them in the parking lot. That's my word. I will put them in the parking lot, and please, I'm gonna assure to you that tomorrow or in our next lesson, I will be able to answer it. Okay, so please give me ample time so I will be able to give you sentences. So what I do, I always have a notebook here, and I put the notes so that I will not be able to forget what I promised to my student, that I will be helping him or her in that question. So those are very important. So after the lesson, I have also some books or some notes that I need to review. And then I put the name of the student. And then when the student came, I will be able to check those reference. And then I will be the one to initiate. Hey, I have something that I need to discuss. I think the last lesson we were talking about this one. And then I already have the knowledge to talk about it. And I think that's the most important thing. You remembering what you promised to your student, because sometimes they are also shy to ask those, like, mm, does it matter, or like that. Sometimes they ask that one, but you initiating it, that yeah, I have something that I think I wasn't able to answer in our previous lesson. So this is actually the main reason why the article is using that word. I think it'd be better if you're gonna use it also, and they are actually in the same level. They are in the formal level, but if you want to be informal, you can use this word. Those kind of things. So um the this segment is actually very simple and straightforward, but there are some times that because it's so simple, the student has ample time to ask questions. So give them the chance to ask question. Don't be afraid to answer questions. Don't be afraid to to tell the truth that you don't have any idea yet. But don't worry, you don't have the right to say, I sorry, I don't have any idea, I cannot answer that. That's not your job. Your job is to give them answers. And if you cannot, then be honest to them. Do not assume, don't pretend that you are actually good at that specific part. That's the thing, uh that's the pitfall of everyone, to assume that you know this. You have to be honest to your student. Okay. All right, so let's continue.
Have about the passage, say, let's move on to the next activity. Discussion. Please look at the directions to proceed to the next section.
Read
Mm,
out. Please
mm,
read out the article.
okay. How the Japanese refuse to slow down with age. Japan's senior citizens, those aged 65 and above, account for more than 28% of its population, and for the elders of Japan, age is just a number. They work among themselves to provide activities to be more fit or to be included socially. It is this proactiveness that strengthens them.
All right. Thank you so much, Kazuki.
Mm,
Very
yeah.
well done. There were no mispronunciation while reading the articles. So now
Mm,
let's move on to the next activity,
mm.
discussion.
Thank you for watching the video. Let's continue to learn about the textbooks and have better lessons.
All right. So as you notice, the teacher, I actually, based on the demo, this is actually just a dramatization demo lesson. But most of the time, it's very vital. It's very important also to always find mispronunciation. It's 99% most of the time they have mispronounced words, or you could actually just pick some words there and let them read it one more time. It's not telling that they are mispronouncing the word. You just want to check it one more time. It's very important that you at least choose 3 5 words in the article. Okay. And of course, I think one of the most effective way of checking their pronunciation is, the difference between how you're going to pronounce the words if it is used as a noun and also as a verb. So most of the time they have mistakes on that. So try to put focus and also give them idea why you are correcting that, because this word is actually used as a verb. This word is used as a noun. So in that way, they have a new understanding of how to read words in an article or in a sentence. Because again, the pronunciation of the word depends on what part of speech it is used in the sentence. Okay. So I think that's very straightforward also. And I hope you have, you were able to get some glimpse of what to do in the daily news. And I'm actually very happy, guys, that we're still able to continue doing this episode. And I hope if you have any questions, guys, please make sure to comment below. And you can always send me messages in the comment section so I could be able to answer them directly from there. And also some of our viewers also might have same questions, and they could be able to read those answers that I also give to them. All right. So don't worry about it. I will try my best to answer those questions. If I don't have, please give me ample time to answer those. And if that question is really relatable to many, I will be making special video for that question so that I could be able to have a shout out to you also. Again, this is Teacher Frank, and I'm so glad that we're still able to have this YouTube channel. It's 2023. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna have a blissful new year for 2023. All right. So if you have also wishes to share, please comment below. This is Teacher Frank. Again, if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to click the subscribe button and also the ring bell button so you will be notified in our next videos. This is Teacher Frank. See you in my next video. Bye bye.